Today, we're going to talk about carrying on a budget. Now, oftentimes, when you hear people talk about firearms or whenever people recommend a handgun to you, they're going to talk about the Glock. They're going to talk about the Walther PDP. They're going to talk about the CZs and the FNs. Well, for people who are beginning the journey with handguns, oftentimes you don't want to put that type of money into your first or initial firearm. So here's one of the things that I do warn about. There are certain firearms that are under $300 that you should absolutely not buy. I won't call them by name, but there's quite a few that you should not buy. However, every year or so, there is a company that will introduce a quality firearm. And then one of the reasons that you can tell this gun is oftentimes quality firearm is because once it hits the the shelf, it begins to gain a reputation of its own. One of the firearms that came out into the American economy was the Canic. The Canic came, and they have been extremely high quality and very, very successful in the American market. In fact, in the USPSA competition, uh, the national championship has been won with a Canic rival. However, the firearm that I want to talk to you today that I really like and that I tend to carry a lot is the TSIS. That's correct, folks. TISAS. This is the TSIS Carry 9X. Okay. Now, I have shot several thousand rounds of this particular firearm and have not had a problem with it. There are some unique things about this particular firearm for the money. So, one of the things that I want to point out is that it's already cut for your dot, so you don't have to pay someone to mill it. The other thing is the lower is extremely comfortable. So, with that being said, oftentimes whenever you buy a firearm, you'll have multiple back straps. Typically, that's going to be small, medium, and large in order to fit your hand. However, the additions that this bring is that this particular firearm has side panels as well. So, if you like more in your hand into your lower, you can make your lower fatter by taking these out and putting in side panels that make it a little fuller in your hand. That's excellent. The trigger on this particular firearm is excellent. Buying a quality budget handgun or pistol does not mean that you're cheap. Oftentimes, what you're going to find out if you are a new shooter is that it's a journey. You end up buying one particular firearm, you find out that doesn't work for you. Then you find buy another, and the next thing you know, you got a safe, and it's full of firearms, and some of them that you'll never use again. You may not sell them, but they're still there. And so, uh, finding a quality firearm to start with that's under $500 is always a good deal. This has really started to make a name for itself in the American market. And hey, if you get a chance to go to the range, rent the Thesis Carry 9X. I think you'll thank me later. Have some fun, but get yourself a gun.